What is the purpose of my life? What if I end up a drug addict like my mother or a drug dealer like my father? You see, this is the exact question I asked myself as I was staring at the blank chalkboard in my cold juvenile detention room. At 13, I was already struggling with addiction. Imagine being that age and detoxing from the various amounts of drugs polluting me, physically and emotionally. One sleepless night in my room, I decided to grab a small leftover piece of chalk and begin to write out the options for my life. Slim options ran through my mind and onto that chalkboard. Failure, waste of life, disappointment, statistic. I was a grade 7 dropout, addicted to drugs, and already experiencing my 10th time being arrested. I was roaming about aimlessly into the depths of my own despair. Lost and unguided, enough was enough. I started to realize what I was becoming, and it was not looking good for my future. All that I could think about was not ending up like the ones who created and put me here on this earth. It was in these moments of realization, I could either go forward, or I could end up just like my parents. I mean, I was only 13. I made a vow to myself that when I got out of the detention center, I would do whatever is necessary to change the course of my life. I even tattooed lo que sea necesario on my ankle as a permanent reminder that despite all the trials and tribulations on my journey, I had to stay focused. I had to tap into and channel the inner greatness within me. That greatness was my inner voice telling me, this isn't all that is to your life. You're here to serve. You're here to inspire. Don't let this dream go. You have one life to live. I knew I had to make my life mean something. I had to challenge myself to live a life worth living. I needed something. It was as if all the drugs that could ease my pain no longer enticed me. And all the fast riches drug dealing provided no longer served or stimulated me. I needed a challenge. Transition was the only force that could save my life. I completely stopped doing drugs, cold turkey. No more hanging around people who were going nowhere fast. The ones who had no dreams and desires of being something more than what they currently are. Gone. I quit having my victim card being pulled, and I decided to take my life into my own hands and not leave my life to anyone else to fix because absolutely no one was coming to save me. Once again, I was only 13. Fast forward to being 17, I had to reevaluate my life. On Canada Day, when everyone else was out partying, as I usually would have done, I decided to pick up a pen and fresh journal and begin to write out the new options for my life. I kept on thinking to myself, if I just keep on doing what everyone else is doing, I'm going to end up exactly like them. Partying and wasting time instead of doing the deep inner work necessary to change. Extraordinary options ran through my mind and onto that journal. Successful, investor, mentor, and inspirational all-around badass. And considering I never, ever, ever went to school, I figured I had to do something to acquire specific knowledge and practical experience. I picked up every self-help and paradigm-shifting book that you could imagine, sat down, and dedicated myself to growing my mind to be able to reinvent my whole entire existence. I wanted to inspire and motivate any other individuals who may be fighting any battles. I wanted to show the power of resilience and that everything you're going through will only strengthen you when the dust clears. Struggles and hardships are just something I like to call transitional training. And we do not have problems, we have obstacles. And we jump over or knock them down by any means. And the power of speech is monumental. We must be mindful of the words we use and what we speak into existence. And when I learned this, my whole entire life shifted in ways I could have never, ever possibly imagined before. I'm currently 23 years old and absolutely love the way my life is going now. Every day I'm passionately acquiring new knowledge to becoming an even better human being than I was previously yesterday. The options I wrote down for myself when I was 17 have all transpired. Investor, mentor, and inspirational all-around badass. You can see that. I owe it to myself for really digging deep into my consciousness and directing myself toward extreme change. And what we need to do is become very mindful of where we want to go and implement the exact way we plan on changing ourselves and not letting the voice of our past self derail our new path. Beliefs dictate our destiny, and we must reinstall, retrain, and reconstruct our minds to be able to gather new ways on instilling new beliefs that will further grow us versus hold us back. You see, you cannot go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. I'm standing here today as proof that your destination is defined by manifestation. Nature versus nurture, I choose both. I change my surroundings, I change my influences, I bet on myself. I am a living testimony.